Welcome to the Explainer. Grab your gear because today we are acting as your expedition guides to explore a colossal and incredibly colorful landscape, India's Eastern Ghats. If you love understanding how maps, ancient geology, and vibrant ecosystems weave together to shape an entire subcontinent, you are in the right place.
Here's our expedition itinerary for today. First, the ancient coastal giants. 2. Drawing the geological map. 3. Journey down the Ghats. 4. Carved by mighty rivers. And finally, a vibrant living ecosystem.
Section 1. The Ancient Coastal Giants. 1,750 kilometers. That's the staggering length of the Eastern Ghats. We're talking about a massive 160,000 square kilometers here. When you picture India's map in your head, this ancient mountain range commands a vast, sweeping stretch of the eastern coastline, and it literally shapes everything around it.
So, where exactly are we going? Well, 5 states outline the borders of our journey. Tracing a line right down the eastern coast, the Ghats weave their way through Odisha, down into Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and then further south into Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. They're distinct regions, sure, but they're united by this one sweeping mountain chain.
To really map this out, picture the boundaries stretching from the Mahanadi River up north all the way down to the Vaigai River in the south. It runs about 100 to 200 kilometers wide. Imagine the land sloping steadily eastward toward the Bay of Bengal while anchoring to the vast Deccan Plateau on the west. Now, a quick aside. Unlike a lot of other mountain ranges, the Eastern Ghats are definitely not a single continuous wall. No way. They're this complex, fascinating mosaic of broken hills, valleys, and plateaus.
Section 2. Drawing the geological map.
Okay, let's talk about the literal bedrock of this region, which is completely defined by deep time. These rocks, they were formed during the Precambrian era. That's over 500 million years ago. Shaped by tectonic faults, the Ghats are built on this heavy foundation of granite, quartzite, and metamorphic rocks. And because of that, the whole map is incredibly rich in crucial minerals. We're talking iron ore, bauxite, and limestone. Plus, sitting right on top is this vibrant, colorful palette of soils: red, black, laterite, and alluvial. It's geographically stunning.
Section 3. Journey down the Ghats.
Following these steps is exactly like tracing a route southward on a colorful topographic blueprint. We're going to start up in the northern zone in Odisha, defined by the Similipal and Nilgiri hills. This area is highly elevated and intensely rich in those minerals we were just geeking out over. Then, moving into the central zone across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, the terrain changes dramatically. You'll see 2 parallel hill ranges separated by a massive 160-kilometer wide valley. Finally, making our way into the southern zone of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, those continuous ranges just break apart into scattered hills, eventually merging seamlessly right into the famous Nilgiri hills.
As we pan across this region, let's drop a few pins, shall we? Specific hill clusters like Similipal, Garjat, Gandamardin, Nalamala, and Javadi act as our main geographic landmarks, heavily dotting the landscape. Oh, and you can't forget Mahanadi in Odisha. It's a major peak that totally stands out when you look at the northern topography. These spots are basically the anchors of the Eastern Ghats. Now, mathematically, the topography here is full of surprises. The average height of the Ghats is a relatively modest 600 meters, but contrast that with the northern highs, which reach about 1,400 meters, and then, boom, you have the massive spike of Arma Konda, the highest peak, towering at 1,680 meters. It puts into perspective exactly why we call them broken hills. You've got these long stretches of moderate elevation that are just suddenly punctured by sheer, dramatic peaks.
Section 4. Carved by mighty rivers. Let's zoom out a bit and look at the blue veins cutting across our map. These mighty rivers, the Mahanadi, the Godavari, and the Krishna, are the absolute master sculptors of the Eastern Ghats. I mean, they literally carve deep, dramatic gorges right through those ancient Precambrian rocks we talked about. And as they relentlessly flow eastward to meet the Bay of Bengal, they pool into these massive, significant wetlands and lagoons. The most famous, of course, being this spectacular Chilka Lake. They paint these vivid blue streaks right across our geological foundation.
But why does all this water matter to the people living there today? Well, beyond just shaping the physical geography over millions of years, these waterways are the hard-working engines of the modern region. They are absolutely crucial for regional irrigation, watering those colorful soils to produce food, and they generate essential hydropower. So the Eastern Ghats aren't just rocks, they're an active flowing system powering agriculture and electricity for millions of lives.
Section 5. A vibrant living ecosystem.
To really understand the life here, we have to look up at the atmosphere above it. This region experiences a dramatic climate shift, ranging from tropical to subtropical. Summers, they can be absolutely blistering, reaching up to 44 degrees Celsius, while winters hover mildly between 20 and 25 degrees. When you combine this extreme temperature shift with heavy rains pouring in the north, while the south stays relatively dry, you forge some incredibly varied and highly specialized habitats.
So, with such diverse weather patterns, unique soils, and that dramatic, broken topography, you kind of have to wonder, what kind of life actually thrives here? Who relies on these ancient mountains for survival? Well, the answer is pretty staggering.
Because of that drastically varying rainfall across the map, from the really wet north to the much drier south, the Eastern Ghats boast a stunning mosaic of highly diverse forest types. If we were color-coding the vegetation on our map, you'd see deep greens for evergreen and semi-evergreen forests, which then shift into the warmer tones of deciduous woods, before fading out into the sparse, hardy scrub of thorn and dry forests. This isn't just one single jungle, it's a complex patchwork quilt of drastically different botanical worlds.
And within that complex botanical quilt blooms an incredible number, 4,500. That's the exact number of flowering plant species thriving across these varied forests. It's wild. This massive floral diversity provides the bedrock for an immense biological web, where every single plant supports the next layer of the ecosystem.
Because of all that flora, this ancient terrain acts as a massive haven for some really iconic wildlife. We're talking robust populations of tigers, elephants, leopards, and essential scavengers like vultures. But the Ghats also protect highly endangered species that literally exist nowhere else on Earth, like the rare Jordan's courser, which is this nocturnal bird that experts once thought was completely extinct. The broken hills and deep valleys offer these isolated little pockets where incredibly rare animals can just hold on and survive.
As we wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. We've mapped out a 1,750-kilometer stretch of ancient rock, powerful rivers, and stunning biodiversity. But, understanding the incredible geography of the Eastern Ghats is really just the first step. With its rich mineral resources and its vital role as an ecological haven, the massive challenge moving forward is balance. How are we going to ensure this ancient, living territory is preserved for generations to come? Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me on this expedition today, and keep exploring.